21 years old. Around about the age of 21 is where life starts to change and you will see a notice or a shift in reality. Right, I'm 23 years old, so I'm 2 years past that date. But for most people, 21 years old is a time where they'll start to notice that people won't give two shits about them. It's a harsh reality to accept, and most of us will go through this, right? Some of you maybe earlier, for some of you maybe later, but on average it's around 21 years old, and that's the same phenomenon with me. So, what do I mean by reality starts to change at 21 years old? At 21 years old, nobody's going to give a shit about you. And the reason is because you're coming into adulthood. And in adulthood, everyone has their own problems. Everyone has their own shit to deal with, and they don't care about your problems or your shit. Now, that's not to say that people won't care about you. There'll be two people that care about you, your mum and your dad. And the only two people that ever give two shits about you from then on, right? So if you have a problem and you want to start to complain, no one's going to care, right? You're not a child anymore where you start to complain over some ice cream or some balloon that fell away. You know, an adult will come along and help you out, right? You get that attention. But 21 years old, especially if you're a man, all that disappears. No one's going to care about you or your problems, and they're going to give you slightest bit of attention unless you provide value to them in some sort of way. Now, there's two ways you can look at this, right? The first way is more of the negative mindset, is that no one cares about you once you hit 21 years old. You're officially an adult, and you start to get depressed in life, you're getting no attention, you start to crumble on the inside, and that reflects on the outside, and then you don't perform in your workplace, or you don't improve your mentality or your body. That's a negative path to go down, especially in adulthood. I've seen a lot of people who hit this point in their life at 21 years old, especially if they were popular in high school. A lot of these guys who were popular in high school had all the attention, all that, but as soon as they left and they hit, late teens or 21 years old, all that fell apart. And so they don't get the same fame anymore, the same attention from women and all that stuff. They stopped working on themselves, and then they start to crumble apart, and they just wonder where life went wrong, right? That's the first option. That's the negative mindset, which I don't want you to fall into. The second mindset, when you hit 21, is the more of the freedom mentality. You're 21 years old, you come into adulthood, no one cares about you, but that basically means you can choose your character. You can choose to become whoever you want to be. If you want to become big and strong, then you can hit the gym, learn to fight, and become big and strong. If you want to be an intellect or a doctor, you should go to university and study and to become a doctor. You have the ability to choose your character and choose what type of person you want to be. What type of character of importance do you want to provide to society, right? And so a lot of the time for men, we reach our prime around 28 to 36 years old, right? Because we have the whole 20s to build ourselves. And so we go into our 30s. That's when the fruits of our labor starts to show, right? But in our 20s, who do you want to become? That's the big decision you need to make. Do you want to become rich? Do you want to become a fashion icon? Do you want to become a fighter? Do you want to become a footballer? Do you want to become a lawyer? Do you want to become a doctor? You can choose anything you want to be, right? And so if you were popular in high school, then, that's going to fall apart, right? Unless you're like some TikTok star, they're the exceptions. But for most of us, you're going to have to choose your path in life, right? And you have to choose and you have to build your character from the ground up. Around 21 years old or 18, you're starting from zero. You're level 0, right? And it's like a video game. You start to build every aspect of your life. Now, this is the positive mindset I want you to have, is you can become whoever you want to be. However, the caveat to this is, in the process of becoming the person you want to be, is the opinions of others, and especially the opinions of your peers from previous life or your previous school friends, right? A lot of the time, the reason people don't do stuff or take risks in life, for example, produce content online or produce content on Instagram or produce content or start their own business, is because they have the fear of what the older friends would think, right? This is the mindset that a lot of people have a fear about, and it's what holds, I would say, 90% of people back. It's the fear of what other people think. I want you to understand that if you want to go places in life, you need to get rid of that fear. And you need to accept the shame, accept the failure, accept the burden of people talking behind your back. You need to accept that people are going to make fun of you. Accept it and embrace it, because those are the fire that will light inside of you to become whoever you want to be, right? The reason I love hate, and the reason I love people calling me names, the reason I love people giving me shit for doing what I need to do and trying to become, you know, a YouTuber or start my own business. The reason I love all this hate and the names people call me is because that hate is fuel for me to even work harder to prove them wrong. And so when people hit the age of like 21 and they're scared to take risks in life, it's usually because of the fear of what other people think. And so throughout the 20s and 30s, they become stagnant. And the next thing you know, 30, 40 years down the road, they just regret it, right? We're all gonna die in the end. So what does it matter about someone else's opinions, right? It doesn't matter. So I'm telling you now, if you're in your 20s and you're 21, this is your time to take risks. Do something big. Create that clothing brand. Create that business that you want to. Create content online and grow an audience. I don't give a fuck, okay? You just do something. Do something big. And embrace the hate comments that people around you will give. Because that's fuel. Right? You can either let it bring you down or you can let it bring you up and like fire up your ass. It's up to you. It's the mindset you have, right? So I want you to understand, 21 years old, usually the age no one gives a shit about you. And that's the beauty of being a man, right? That's the time where you can choose to become who you want to be, right? The choice is yours. How do you want to deal with it? Do you want to just waste your 20s and 30s, or do you want to become big and embrace that hate and embrace the hardship of life, of people not giving you attention, all that stuff? The choice is yours. Okay? See you tomorrow.